Hey everyone, I do a little talk today about swagger, kind of how the nomenclature of swagger happened, with how his name started and what it morphed into and who he turned out to be, and it's pretty interesting. Swagger first came on the scene as this non-impressive bull. He had these skinny antlers, no paddles to speak of, really very kind of plain Jay, if you will. So he comes in one day wagging into this other bull. I forget who it was, but it was the most impressive swagger that I've ever seen a bull deliver. He came in and just really worked his neck and really was making himself look. First of all, I thought he was kind of funny, but obviously very intimidating, despite his lack of antlers. So anyway, therefore he became swagger. But I must say, he was a hit with the ladies. They did seem to take a shining to him. The next year, we saw him again. This was 2019. We saw him fight left hook, as you all know already. He won the fight, but he came out of it three-legged lame. He was really sore. The rest of that rut season, we saw him gimping around and kind of staying on the outsides of things, and we really feared the worst for him that year. We had nothing really to base that on other than Marley, who we saw very lame and then never saw again. So we assume a lame bull means he won't make it through the winter or the predators. He spent a lot of time bedded, and it was apparent he had done a lot more fighting when we weren't looking. I have no idea how, but when you mix hormones and adrenaline, I guess you can get a fight out of a three-legged bull. He is scuffed up from head to toe. Pulling in for the close-up here, you'll see that he had broken an antler tip that wasn't broken in the fight with left hook. This guy's a scrapper. This is the reason Swagger got up. He saw this little bull coming down the hill. It seems this little guy wanted to spar with Swagger, but Swagger was not in the mood. I thought it was a very touching moment. The little bull seemed to be showing him respect. This is the last we saw Swagger that year, limping off into the sunset, never to be seen again, or so we thought. When we came back in 2020, we saw this bull that was very like Swagger. I don't know why we didn't see it, but we called him NS because he looked like Swagger, but NS stood for not Swagger. So then NS morphed into Dennis. So here we are on this bull we're calling Dennis. The reason being that the bell had changed, the rope had fallen off. He had double crab claws for brow tines. I mean, we figure Swagger had been lost to the predators in the winter due to his lameness, right? So this was a different bull, we thought. We can't always call it perfectly. Anyway, he had antlers just like Swagger. So, Dennis, the following year, this brings it to 2021. There's this bull, Dennis, and he looks like a wimp. I mean, there's nothing really impressive about him. He still looks like Swagger because he's Dennis, right? He kind of disappeared. We saw him in velvet, and I don't think we ever saw him again. And then, bringing it up to this year, here we come upon this bull that is he's exploded. He's puffed up. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger all of a sudden. That had happened to a couple of the other bulls too. They just came back like on steroids this year for whatever reason. Must have been wherever they ended up, despite it being a bad year for a lot of snow and a hard winter. They must have found some really good browse because they came back like. So anyway, because this bull was so much bigger, we didn't think he was Dennis. So we figured maybe he's a twin brother. So we named him Menace. And then we realized that Dennis was Menace, and so he became Dennis the Menace, and so now he's back to Swagger. But the point being, Swagger still lives. We finally sat down and got comparing pictures, videos, facial scars. There's no doubt about it now. We have friends out there who have, documented these animals, and also we were comparing it with them, and one of them's a really good antler guy. So we're going back and forth on the phone, and we're on the computer, and it's a lot of fun because we're kind of sleuthing this out. But it turns out, stupid us, we thought we were kind of good at this, but apparently we got caught up on this one. It's pretty funny, but Swagger, from Swagger to not Swagger to Dennis to Menace to Dennis the Menace, back to Swagger. Full circle, same bowl. Here we are. Enjoy. Yeah, they're coming running. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.